Hello, my wonderful people. How are we doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Feeling fresh. Just had a good shower. Hair's still all wet. No problem though. I'm ready to bake a cake. So, traditional Black Forest cake is going down right now. We're just gonna make the cake on this stream, put it in the oven, and then I'll make the whipped cream, and I'm gonna finish decorating it later on because the cake is gonna have to cool down before I do anything. And this recipe is from my boyfriend's mom, who is German. And I'm just gonna go grab my phone so I can show you what I had to translate earlier this morning. Can you make this for me? Yeah. So, if that can focus, that'd be great. But this is all in German. So I had to translate it all. And it's called Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte. So here is our Schwarzwälder Kirschwasser, aka cherry liqueur. And this was made in Germany by somebody. This was not purchased, so that's the good stuff. I'm just getting a lunch ready for someone to microwave cookery. All right, guys. So our ingredients for today, I don't know if you guys want to write this down or just copy it down later after I make it. I need 6 eggs, 240 grams of sugar, 6 tablespoons of warm water, 120 grams of flour, 100 grams of cornstarch, 20 grams of cocoa, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So that's just for the cake, and then that's gonna bake at 300 Fahrenheit for about an hour. And then the whipped cream is 3 tablespoons of sugar, and then this little pack of ready whip. I couldn't find the German stuff, but this is as close that I can get to in North America. And then 5 cups of cream, and I'm gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla just because I love the flavor that that gives. And then I also have back here our beautiful jar of sour cherries that are pitted, and then just some chopped dark chocolate for the garnish later. So let's get our cake batter going. I'm going to whip the eggs and sugar together first. Honestly, there was not really directions on this recipe, so I'm just gonna go by the basic way that I usually make a cake. What you need? How long's that lunch in there? You have 10 seconds. Sorry. So I'm gonna put the 6 eggs into the mixer here. And I'm just gonna turn this down so you guys can see my mixer. This is an Incarcerum, and it's from Sweden. So much better than a KitchenAid. It should be hot. I love it so much that you can just like keep dumping stuff in without having to stop it. Really, really good. It's worth the money for sure. So 6 eggs are going in here. And these are large size eggs. So typically what everyone buys from the supermarket. And then once I get this batter going, I'm just gonna start to preheat the oven to 300. That temp is pretty low, so I don't need to turn it on right away. And then I guess I should also let you know that you'll need a 9-inch pan to bake this cake in. I have 3 separate pans that I'm going to use just so I don't have to cut the cake later on. This is my cheating way of doing it. It's a lot cleaner to do it this way too, that way you don't get cake crumbs everywhere. So I'm just gonna measure out my sugar next. I always love using recipes that give the weight in grams. It's just a lot more accurate when you're baking. I feel like cups aren't always the same size. Right, so 240 grams of sugar going into these 6 eggs. Maybe I should plug the mixer in first, hey? That would work. So I'm gonna start this on low and then turn it up a bit as the sugar mixes in. And this should turn a nice pale yellow in color. That's when you know you can start to add the flour. And I guess I'll get my water as well, so I'll need 6 tablespoons. Never really put warm water into a cake, so I don't know when to put it in. I think I'm gonna put it into the eggs and sugar just before I add the flour. We don't want our water too hot here, just so you don't cook the eggs. So I know I can turn it up a bit. And I'm also going to get a sifter out for our flour and cocoa later on. That'll help to get rid of any lumps. Color is starting to go a little bit pale now. We are on our way. fluffy. Those look good. And I'm also going to line all of my baking pans while I mix the batter. So I'm gonna put the water in now, give that a little mix. Six tablespoons. Seems like a lot. I don't know. Give that a little mix. And now we're going to sift our flour, cornstarch, cocoa, and baking powder together. So 120 grams of flour. You always want to make sure that your bowl is zeroed before you put your sifter on. Otherwise, you won't get an accurate measurement. So let's try that again. Okay, perfect. Next thing going in is our cocoa. And there's only 20 grams of that. Not too much. Make sure you zero the scale again. Cocoa is probably the worst powder to have lumps in it, so always make sure that you sift it beforehand. And if you need to, press any lumps down through the sieve. Okay. And then 100 grams of cornstarch. I've also never really used cornstarch in cakes, but I'm sure that is what holds like all the eggs together, because there is quite a bit of eggs in this cake. So tare your scale again. I'm gonna get a new spoon because this one's all cocoa-y. Don't want to put any of that in the cornstarch. I'm actually just gonna try and pour this in. 85, 15 more grams. Looks about right. Perfect. And then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I got the Magic brand. And that will give nice rise to our cake later on. Hello, Yahtzee. How's your day today? I'm just making a quick Black Forest cake. I've been challenged to do this. And then I'm gonna decorate it later on once the cake cools off. So I'll probably start up the stream again around 2:30-ish. And we're going to slowly mix our flour in to our eggs and sugar now. I just want to get whatever is stuck onto here into the bowl. Still a lot easier than using a KitchenAid. This is called an incarcerum. So I'll type it out for you in the chat. Yeah, it seems like Mother Nature has been drunk for a while. We've had rain on and off for the past 2 weeks. So this is a Swedish mixer. Super fun to use. So you should see your batter start to transform now and get a little bit thicker. And I'm just gonna mix it until all the lumps are gone. I also noticed that there's no salt in here. That's like a huge thing that people need to add to baking, so I think I'm gonna add maybe half a teaspoon. It really helps to bring out like all the chocolate flavors and contrast the sweetness. Hello, Marianne. I'm just mixing the batter. I hope it looks okay. Is it supposed to be really thick, or is it gonna be a little bit runny before I take it out? I'll wait for you to answer. And I'm gonna line my baking pans then. It's going good. I just mixed up my batter. I think I did it pretty well. It's okay, I just started about 10 minutes ago. Is it usually really thick though when you pour it into the pan, or is it a little bit runny? I just put my pen on top of the sheet of parchment and I'm just going around the bottom. You only need to line the bottom for this cake. But I am still going to spray it with some cooking spray. So this is what you'll be looking for. Okay, I'll mix up the batter a little bit more then after I line these pans. Whereabouts do you live, Yahtzee? Perfect. Alabama. Cool. Cool, cool. Okay, let's mix this up a little bit more and see if it gets thicker. It's pretty thick. Maybe I just need to activate the cornstarch a little bit more. No problem, Marianne. I'll be back on later around, I think, 2:30. Oh yeah, it's getting thicker now. We're gonna be good. Okie dokes. That's always a good time. Best excuse ever. And now you get to watch me make a cake. So I'm just gonna soak the beaters a little bit so that we can make the whipped cream really quick after. And then I'm gonna divide, so right now, it is 1:06 p.m. right now. I'm just gonna divide this batter between the 3 pans. Like I said, that way I don't have to cut the cake up later on. And this pan is a little bit smaller here, but that's okay. I'll put that as the top layer and just fill it in with whipped cream if it looks a little bit off. Tricks of the trade. Okay, so spray this first. Remember that. It's always the worst when your cake sticks to the pan. Yeah, we're same as Washington. I've been down to Seattle and Bellingham. and San Diego a long time ago. And Vegas. So I've done a little bit. I'm still waiting to do the East Coast of America. Good old New York trip. And then I would do the East Coast of Canada as well at the same time. Have you been up to Canada yet, Yahtzee? Oh, for sure. We would do Florida at the same time. If you really wanted to make sure that your cakes would all be the same size, I would put my pan onto the scale and then weigh out the batter. But I'm just gonna do freehand today. You should come on up one day. It is beautiful. Okay, so our oven did go off. So 1 hour at 300 Fahrenheit is what the recipe says. Yeah, I used to fish all the time, just in lakes when I was a kid, but it's so much fun. I still want to go on like a big fishing charter out here. Catch a bunch of salmon and cod. So I'll put the 2 bigger pans on the bottom rack and then the smaller one just on the top here. And those will go low and slow. Actually, since I split this up, I think it won't take that long. So I'm gonna just do a ½ an hour timer for now. Because usually that cake is made in like a really deep pan and then you cut it into 3 layers. So once again, I'm just doing my own thing. Classic Kate. Okay, mixer is coming back. And I'm just gonna get ready to whip up the cream for the filling of the cake later on. And then once I'm done that, I'm gonna stop the stream, go have a little bit of lunch, and then probably come back around 2-ish, 2:30. And then also, once the cakes come out, I'm gonna pop them into the freezer just so they cool off really quick. That's right. You always need those layers. The first layer is the one that you soak with the kirsch, and then you put all the cherries on. And then the second layer is just plain cream. And then you just cover the entire cake in the rest of the whipped cream. The green box Yahtzee is the lady that I got the recipe from, so my boyfriend's mom. She said she would come and check up on me. Make sure you dry off all of your utensils before you whip the cream. You don't want any extra water in there. So, 5 cups of cream. And then 2 packs of this Ready Whip stuff. I'm sure you can find it. It's like Dr. Oetker in the baking aisle. It just helps to stabilize the cream so that it's kind of like an icing, but not as light as whipped cream. Because the cake does get pretty heavy with all the kirsch in it. So it needs to stand up to that. And then 3 tablespoons of sugar, so not too much, but that makes sense because I'm sure there's quite a bit of sugar in there. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of vanilla in. So I'm just gonna read the directions. It just says add the contents to your whipping cream and then beat it until you get stiff peaks. So 1 liter, if no one knows this, is 4 cups. So I just needed a little bit over that. There wasn't much dairy like in the cake batter, but there definitely is dairy in the frosting. I'm really good at like converting liters and cups. They convert really easily. But like grams and ounces, I'm not super good. I just use a calculator or like the converter app. So I'm gonna measure out this cup just so it's perfect. And then we can add the vanilla and the sugar right away, as well as that Ready Whip. This is like a beautiful vanilla bean paste. So good. It is expensive though, but it's so worth it. Like this will probably last me a good like 3 years. I picked this up before I left the last restaurant I was at. Just because we got a little bit better of a deal through wholesale. So I knew I wasn't gonna go into a restaurant anytime soon. So that was one thing I made sure I got. Because you don't usually find it in stores, but you can get it online. Sounds good. I'll be here. Oh. Amy's, you made it. You found me. How is your day going, sir? What time do we call this? We call it Thick Thursday time. No onions yet, later. So So the cakes are already in the oven. You missed that part. But feel free to go back after I stop. I'm gonna be done pretty soon here, and then I'll come back around 2:30 probably, and then we'll decorate the cake together. So we're just whipping, I guess we'll call this the frosting for the inside and the outside of the cake. I know, I had to get myself ready early today, it was weird. I just thought I would do like a quick little hour stream and then finish the rest off later. I didn't want to make like the cake and dinner together just in case something went wrong. You know it, sir. So they've been in the oven for just 10 minutes now. They take about half an hour because I separated the batter into 3 pans so I don't have to cut it. And then those will chill out in the freezer until we go to decorate. This is the cream. So 5 cups of cream, 2 packs of like ready whip, and then a little bit of vanilla and 3 tablespoons of sugar is what I'm doing. Yeah, you would. And then look what else I have here. Like OG Kirsch. Smuggled in from Germany. Autocorrect for sure. Whip it's good. And I'm just gonna start to put all this stuff away. Oh, it's the good stuff. Like, I'll probably use half of this. And just soak the cake. If you think it's enough, it's never enough. Potatoes later. Nah, cake is easier, I would say. I don't know why everyone's like scared of baking. Usually works out great when you follow the recipe. Potatoes, and then a whole stuffed salmon that was caught here in BC. It's getting thick. I'm gonna turn it up. It was so good, dude. I'm gonna have some ratatouille and leftover pasta for lunch after this. turned out really well. And then at the end of the stream, I almost forgot to put the ricotta onto it because it was just chilling in the fridge. But guess what? I did make my 50 followers. So now I get to sign up for affiliate. That happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. Always good leftovers here. This is a lot of cream. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's how Sam came into this family, is that there was always good leftovers and he would come over after work and eat them all. He actually has a rule here, so any leftovers from like a restaurant, if they're not eaten within 24 hours, they're a free game to anyone. Getting thick. Yeah. Then you wouldn't eat any of them. Okay, we're getting there. I turn this you into a circle. Oh, yeah. Getting dizzy watching this? Or is it just mesmerizing? The cakes look good, guys. I had to peek. Usually you're not supposed to peek. But I do what I want. About halfway baked, and I'm just whipping the cream for decorating the cake later on. So once this is done, I'm just gonna go grab a bite to eat and then come back around 2:30, I would say. Yeah, that's thick, hey? It looks so good. Just doing a quick little stream this afternoon, an hour or so, and then I'll be back. Okay, let's see where we're at. So we want nice stiff peaks here, just so the frosting can hold up to the cake. It's still soft. That's how you tell, is when you can flip it on your spatula and then it won't move at all. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more here. I know, so much whipped cream. It's gonna be the death of me. But be careful not to over whip your cream, because then you'll end up making butter. And then you have to start all over. Let's see now. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna scrape this little bit down. I feel like it's not getting mixed in very well. But the bottom of this is like pudding. It's thick. One more mix. So that's perfect. Nothing's happening. It's staying on the beaters. That's how we know we are good to go. Posh is here to lick them. You notice. Ready, guys? If I lick the whisk though, I feel like all the trolls will find me somehow. They'll find me, guys. Okay, I'll do it, and then Posh will do the rest. Okay, come here. It's flying. She's going wild. Okay, we're good. Yeah, clean it up. Over here. Okay, guys. She's way better. She's like, I've done this before. No problem. Okay. Look at our thick cream. I want to flip it over, but imagine it all fell out. So that's exactly what we're looking for. And I'm just going to leave this in this bowl. Mush. And I'm just going to put that in the fridge until my cakes are nice and cooled off. So I'm gonna go eat a little bit of lunch now, and I'll see you guys at 2:30. That gives me an hour just to chill out and get everything else ready for dinner. Flip it. Okay, is this like the ice cream trick? I don't know if you guys have Dairy Queen, but that's what they're supposed to do with their blizzards. Boom! What up? Okay guys, see you in an hour. Thank you for coming to watch my little whipping demonstration real quick. On the head. Yeah. Okay, see you in a bit.